Welcome back to the Education System Reboot channel. This is just a video upon kind of reflection on using your time wisely. But more specifically, it's day 2 of my official spring break. So many other educators might be in the same boat. And I guess it was just a reflection on kind of using your time wisely, how habits and routines can maximize. Maybe the term synergy is another word. But the reason I want to make this specific video is for the last day and a half. So just at the exact time I'm making this video, it is about 2 o'clock my time on Tuesday, the second day of spring break. And Monday and Tuesday have actually been very productive. And I was kind of thinking, all right, why are they so productive? And why is this important for education? Number one, the reason they've been productive is routines. I have, again, I've been preaching this in this channel left and right, but I have established morning routines. And so the first thing is I follow those routines still on my break. And they, again, set my day up for success. So to kind of go through the different things, I mean, of course, these are unique to me. They aren't unique to other people, but I think they model what could be, like what could happen if we could encourage students and teachers to have routines as kind of their main way of organizing their life. So obviously the first thing is I wake up and I make my bed, I get hydrated, I do some sort of exercise, I listen to an audio, and then once I'm done exercising, I kind of get ready, take my shower, I do some reading, and then as a musician, I do a buzzing routine. And that's kind of every day, that's in general, that's my morning routine. Of course, there are always things that maybe get in the way here and there. And then I try to not let 2 days in a row happen where I miss, but in general, that's exactly what happens. And then, so, on Monday, the first day, I got to, kind of sleep in a little bit, which was really nice, and go at my own pace, but I still did those things. I warmed up on my French horn, and I did have to go into school. For me personally, I had to do some stuff in my room to get prepared for some construction. So, I had a really good productive morning. I went to school, spent about 6 hours moving things and got my room ready. And then I came home and I got to veg a little bit, but I also practiced. And so it's like, even though I was kind of doing a balance of downtime and productivity, it was well balanced. And, I remember at the end of the day, I just felt, wow, I had a productive day. And then this morning, same idea. I woke up without an alarm, or I woke up before my alarm. I set my alarm for 7:30, knowing that I could sleep in, but I woke up before it, felt pretty refreshed, started my day, got myself moving on my routine, did the same morning stuff. But after I did my whole kind of morning routine, I looked at, all right, what are other projects? I cleaned up a little bit. I started a little bit of laundry. I got motivated to arrange something. So I busted out in about 2 hours an arrangement of a hymn that I worked on, and it didn't take very long. And so it's like I felt productive. And it's kind of the main important part of this is the more productive I was in the morning, the more I desired, even though it's a day off, it's a break, the more I desired to be more efficient and do more things. I was like, well, what else can I do? I've already done some good practicing. Like I said, I've done some laundry. I have other plans. I'm going to probably clean some stuff. Making this video, this is a perfect example. So all of this productivity, this using my time wisely was based on the fact that I have established routines, okay? I also, though, the other thing that's important is passion. Now, because I know my passion, which is music and education and teaching and dancing is another thing, just, something that I make time for. But because I also have bigger picture goals, like these websites I do and stuff, I always have little things I can be working on. And so when you kind of build momentum using your routines, it frees up time and energy to focus on other things. So when I arranged this hymn tune, I was also able to put it on my YouTube channel. I was able to put it onto my website. I created a resource. My passions start to help focus my, my priorities. I think that's the best way to say it. So my priorities on a daily basis can be focused because I know what my passions are. Now, did I in the morning, did I write out like a checklist? This is what I'm doing. No, I'm letting the day kind of happen organically. But because I have all these little projects and ideas and goals in my mind, when I see a time, like a block of time, like today was a perfect example. I had a block of time where I didn't know really what to do. And I'm like, okay, in the back of my mind, I have projects of composing and of arranging. And, and so it's like, all right, well, I have this amount of time. I could easily get something done. To kind of backtrack a little bit, at first I woke up, I was like, ooh, you know what? I want to compose a French horn quartet. And I started that. And then I thought, I'm not feeling the clarity of that. And I knew that if I started that project, it was going to take anywhere from 5 to 6 hours to 2 days. Like it could take a couple days because I didn't know how creative. And I thought, that's not the best use of my time right now because I don't feel the inspiration. I can't picture what I'm going to do. But I could arrange a hymn because I have the source material and it would take less time. So I hope that I know this video is going to be very kind of disjunct, but I hope I'll make a point. But what I'm trying to say is because I have all these little projects and all these little goals, I am always able, when there's a period of time, I can say, okay, I have a period of time in this area, in this project, I could get a goal done in that area. Okay, I'm going to choose to do that. So this is where I'm tying it into the education system. I'm making an assumption, but based on what some things kids say, in class and stuff, most kids do not seem to know how to manage their time. And I think a lot of that is because they don't know their passions, right? But they also, I wonder if us as teachers, we don't do a good job of modeling that. Now, in my own, again, personal teaching, what I've loved about online is that I've been able to kind of grow with my students or grow ahead of my students, right? My growth allows me to say to students, hey, here's what I'm learning. Here's how I'm growing. Here's how I'm organizing my life. Here's how I'm doing a better job of, maximizing my time, whatever. I'm doing these things. And then I can say, I encourage you to do this, right? Do you have a passion? Do you have a dream? How can you create, better routines in your life? And so I guess to kind of wrap this one up is I wanted to kind of explain or describe, how efficient I've been these last 2 days, and then kind of make it so it's clear that that's teachable. That is something that can be modeled or taught, or, just even if it's just described to our students. Now, here's the big picture. So imagine an education system. Imagine a world where our kids in our education system during breaks could self-discipline and self-motivate themselves to work and use that time more wisely, whether that's to read things, whether that's to work on homework, whether that's to create projects for themselves, to grow in areas of their passion, whether that's just to keep themselves busy, to keep themselves out of boredom. There's a lot of different ways, but right now, what I feel like what I'm describing is countercultural. It's not what we do. Like when you have downtime, you relax, you veg, you just Netflix. And I do some of that, don't get me wrong, but it's the balance problem. When I hear students talking to other students about what they did on their weekend or like I just hear, it's like, I was just lazy. I didn't do anything. I watched TV. I did this. Maybe I played with some friends. I played video games all weekend. And again, all of those things in moderation are good. I do them here and there. Like, I watched a movie last night, but I also did that within balance of my productive day. And so when I look at what I hope that I'm able to do for my students long-term is, again, to move from a teacher to a mentor. Like, sorry, I know I'm being a little disjunct here. That is important to me, to be able to live my life and not be a hypocrite. So if I'm asking them and telling them to do things in my teaching, I can say to them without any hypocrisy, I practice what I preach. As a music teacher, I practice. I have routines. I practice what I preach. As a person who's now focusing on personal growth, when I am giving them advice on personal growth or how they could utilize their time better or how they can achieve their goals, I'm basically living proof that those things are working. Anyway, so I guess to kind of wrap up is to say the last 2 days, even though it's the break, the last 2 days have been so productive. It's actually a day and a half, Monday and half Tuesday. And just to kind of to use a comparison, if this was a year ago, I wouldn't be able to say this. I wouldn't be able to give this advice. I would be a hypocrite, because in the past, most of my teaching career has been whenever there's a break, I just veg out. I do practice, but I would watch lots of movies. I would veg. I would drink. I would do, I would do things that wouldn't necessarily, to phrase it this way, my future self wouldn't have thanked me for it, right? Or another phrase I like is, the only preparation for tomorrow is the right use of today. Well, in previous breaks, spring breaks, Christmas breaks, Thanksgiving breaks, summer breaks, I didn't do a great job of using my time wisely. I just didn't. Okay. Yes, I mean, I would always have little projects. I always had my passions to help me kind of guide it, but it wasn't focused the way it is now. And I truly believe that all of that is basically a byproduct of having a clear morning routine to set my day up for success. And I just feel very strongly that as teachers, if we focus on ourselves in terms of growing our personal growth and, getting ourselves on the right footing on a daily basis and creating the right habits, we then are in a position to actually preach to our students that they could be doing the same thing. And another little theme that kind of underlines all my videos is, I want to introduce concepts to kids earlier than I learned them, right? I am happy to be the person that went through the tough stuff and came out the other side and reflected and grew. But I would much prefer to have learned the lessons I'm learning now way earlier, right? And if we can be, as teachers or mentors, the people that can help students realize that these daily habits, right, their daily agenda, how they use their time is ultimately long-term what's going to help them be more successful, I think it's our responsibility to do that. I think it's something that we owe to ourselves as teachers, and we owe to our students, because we preach all the time, we want to do what's best for students. Well, I'm learning what's best for students is having my ducks in a row, having my house in order, making my bed. I mean, that's an analogy, even though I really literally do that. Again, I hope that made sense. I think that's a great place to end. And as always, remember, consistent effort over time equals success.